Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Matthew Watty's channel. Welcome back to the Saturday eBay rant video. For those of you who are just joining me for the very first time, every Saturday we do have the segment where we will look at the pros and cons of the eBay platform. Now, over the last several years, eBay has gone under a lot of scrutiny for the way that they handle their clients. A lot of fraudulent buyers and sellers out there, and I think videos like this really help, especially people who might be new to the platform, especially if they're buyers, or actually, especially if they're sellers on the platform. So I was kind of looking at some of the messages that I've been receiving recently, and a lot of them, they're not different from what I normally get, but it got me thinking about some of the questions that I ask, some of the questions that are asked of me. And so I went on eBay and I found this forum of some of eBay's most annoying questions. Now, I took down 5 topics of discussion here, and I thought that these were pretty good topics to discuss. Now, this first one got me because I don't really think of it as a bad question. Question 1, what's the lowest you'll go? Now, apparently, this is the #1 most hated question. As a seller, I absolutely understand where other sellers are coming from in that regard. But, so, I'll give you a little quick example. I was on Mercari, and there's a seller who was selling this 12-inch Hulk Hogan figure. And, I started watching it on Mercari, and recently I got an offer for $63. I thought, okay, 17 bucks off, awesome. I just don't value it that much. It's a knockoff figure, 12-inch Hulk Hogan. I definitely want it, most definitely, but I'm just not there yet, not in the $60 range. I came in with an offer of $40, or I sent him a message, would he be interested in offer $40? Now, sending him a message as opposed to making that counteroffer will come in, we'll be bringing that up later on in the discussion, because that same relevant information is going to pop up. So, he comes back and tells me, well, the lowest that I can do is $55. That way I'm not losing money, based on net pay and all that, of course, and, shipping costs, what have you. So, I understand where he was coming from. I'm like, you know what? I just bought one of these bootlegs recently. I want another one to add to the collection. I'll increase my price. I'll go up to $60. That way, he's getting his net pay worth, and he's not losing out on money. And hopefully, it kind of helps him out on the back end with shipping cost or Mercari seller fees, what have you. I have people constantly send me messages, whether or not I have. Well, I take it back. It doesn't matter what the listing is. I will always have a best offer option on eBay. But hypothetically, let's say I don't have a best offer. Let's say I've got something listed for $5 starting bid, or buy it now for $20. I still put it in the description, offers welcome. So if someone comes in and says, hey, I want to offer you $12 for this item, I can easily go in, alter that, buy it now to $12, and let that person buy it. So I have absolutely no problems with people asking me questions, making offers through via message. And when they ask, or when the questions ask, what's the lowest you'll go? So one of the one of the examples that they provided, I thought was hilarious, was so you go into an interview and the manager, either program manager, hiring manager, HR, whoever it is that's doing the interview, the interviewer, when they ask you what's the lowest you'll accept. Me personally, I've had that happen to me. I don't find a fault. So if I'm going into a job and I'm looking at earning $60,000 a year, and the job pays $16.17 an hour, and you're probably going to end up with like $45,000 a year, let's say $40,000 a year. Hey, for me as a potential employee, I may not even be interested in that at that point. So yeah, there's no reason extending me an offer for a job if I'm not interested at that that starting point, right? That starting base pay. So I completely understand, an employer asking you that question. So kind of like the arguments that they made with, making that comparison, it just doesn't, hold water. At least not for me. Lowest price you'll go. So I could have an item listed at $125. A person sends me an offer for $60, or they send me a message, hey, would you be comfortable taking an offer of $60? Sometimes, straight up, no, I'd like to get more out of it than that. But you'll never know unless you ask. And what if this particular item, somebody says, hey, is 60 fair? And I respond, yes, absolutely. So I'd rather have people contact me, even if they're lowballing me. I'd rather have them contact me and ask me, what the lowest I'll go, because I want to make a sale. And that's why I have always said, if I'm selling on eBay and it's like an auction, and I just started that auction 5 minutes ago, and it's a 7-day auction or a 10-day auction, what have you, if it's like a $5 starting bid and buy it now is or best offer, if someone comes in with a $5 offer, 97% chance I'm going to accept it. Why? Because I'd rather have the guaranteed sale right then and there than wait a week and see or hope that it sells. And it might just sell for $5 if it does get a single bid. So I'd rather have the money now than wait a week. So I have no problems with that particular question. Why other sellers find that to be annoying, I don't know. But that I guess I'm just a little bit different in my mindset. This second one, yeah, it is. It can be annoying. Are there any rips, holes, or stains? It doesn't matter what I'm listing. If I'm listing my wife's clothes, her shoes, if I'm listing one of my action figures or something for sale, I try to take as much detailed photos as possible, and I try to give as great of a description or list any deficiencies. Now, I may not always find something. If I'm listing a carded figure, I might look at the figure and it looks absolutely fantastic, mint condition, perfect. And it turns out there might be some dents in the bubble. A couple of my buddies, they reached out to me and they informed me, hey, there's a bubble indentation in the hand. Maybe I saw it and just didn't think about it. Maybe I just thought, hey, that's how it was made, right? Because these bubbles are being formed around the figure. So maybe I saw it, maybe I didn't, but I try to be 100% as accurate as possible in the description, list any deficiencies that I see. And when I see a question like this, are there any rips, holes, or stains? If that's the case where it did have any of these issues, it would go in the garbage. Me as a seller, I wouldn't even try selling that. There is a pair of blue jean shorts that my wife had that were like pretty cut up. Because they're denim, I put them on sale for like $5. I don't want it. I don't think they could. I don't think you could donate them. So, and I don't want to just throw them away. Like I said, denim is a very nice recyclable item. A lot of clothing sales, clothing stores like Diesel, they actually recycle the denim and make new products out of it. So, ever since I've learned about Diesel, I hate doing that. Just throwing away blue jeans or blue jean shorts or anything like that. So, or you might have a brand new pair of pants unworn and it's got some holes in the knee or the upper thigh, but that's part of the design. You buy that off the rack at the store like that. That's why it's not really a tear. It's design. You kind of get that homeless look, and that's just kind of the fashion. But I always say, first and foremost, look at the photos. Zoom in if you have to. Look at the description. If your questions can't be answered either by photo or by description, yes, absolutely send that question up to the seller and see what's up with that item. With a lot of my wife's clothes, I don't always put seam to seam or the length of pants or anything like that, the length of the dresses. Like I might say mini skirt, or I might say knee length dress, or something like that. But I don't give all these dimensions. So occasionally I'll get a comment or a message. Can you get me the seams from armpit to armpit, or from neck to the bottom, or something like that? That's fine. If they're potential buyers, I want to make sure I get as much accurate information to them as possible, because what happens if I give them wrong information, or if they go ahead and buy it as is and they don't like it, they're going to send it back to me, and I'm going to lose that profit, and then I'm going to lose money because I'm paying for shipping there and back. So yeah, that can be really frustrating. So again, questions, they may be annoying, they may be redundant, but sometimes, especially in certain cases, they're necessary. Number 3, I need this by Sunday. Can you ship today? I absolutely agree that can be an absolutely annoying. I will never treat my customers, rude, and, look, you're being moronic. I cannot promise you that. If today is, let's say it's Wednesday morning, and I get a message, and they want to buy an American Eagle hoodie from me, one of my wife's hoodies. If they buy it now, can I get it to them by, let's say, Saturday? That's not up to me. Depending on the time of day, and this is what kills me. Kind of like to branch off or sidetrack a little bit. So, because there's a mailbox right in front of my house, if somebody buys something like after the mailman leaves, I will have that item shipped out the very next day. I put the packages out in front of the mailbox, put the little flag up. When the mailman comes by, he gets the boxes every morning. If it's purchased before the mailman arrives, like let's say somebody buys something at 10:16 and the mailman picks the boxes up at 10:24, I could probably have that box shipped out within those 8 minutes that they pay for it. So occasionally you'll get rude or inconsiderate buyers, and they'll leave you negative feedback, or they'll put somehow, when you look at, 'cause I have two eBay accounts, and for whatever reason my communication and shipping is 4.9. And to me, that is the most annoying, because my shipping goes out lightning quick. It should never fall below 5.0. Communication, like I said, I'm not bad-mouthing anybody, or, when somebody messaged me and they had a bad experience, I apologize, and I asked what I could do to try to make it better. But if it comes down to, like, hey, I want to return this item, it's like, well, this is a non-returnable item. I could work with you on something else, but I don't know. I guess everything is a case-by-case situation, so I try to give the best experience possible, but, you're not going to please everyone, and that's the sad reality. So when they ask you, can you ship this immediately, get it to them by a certain date? You can't promise that. I can probably go to FedEx and pay $30 for overnight delivery, but is the seller or the buyer going to pay that $30 to me for FedEx overnight delivery so they can get that $10 item within a day or two? They're not. What a lot of people don't understand is, as a seller, once your package is in the hands of the post office, I'm not saying that you wipe your hands clean of it, but at that point, it is out of your control. Now, me, I still monitor tracking. I still check items that are shipped that haven't been received yet. I still try and check the tracker as often as possible to see where it's located. And there have been times where it's gone from, like, let's say my home in Kentucky, where it would go to, like, Ohio, and maybe the person's in Pennsylvania, and then it'll go from, like, Ohio to Arizona, and then it'll go to, like, Tennessee, and then it'll go to Pennsylvania. Like, I don't know why it bounces around like that. Or it's coming from me in Kentucky to someone in Indiana. It'll go from Kentucky to Indiana, Indiana to Arizona, Arizona back to Indiana. I'm like, it's weird. So if I see something in the tracker system where it's been like a week since I shipped it, I'll reach out to the seller, tell them, hey, I'm keeping track of this, and I see that it's bouncing around, and kind of give them as much of an update, but they can see the same thing I can see. Number 4, can I make an offer? I mean, that's kind of, hand in hand with number 1. What's the lowest you'll go? Can you make an offer? Like I said, every item that I have listed is make an offer. Reality is, when I list something because that's the price I want for it. I put make an offer because, one, I think like people might feel a little bit more comfortable buying something from you, even if they buy it in full, just by seeing that make an offer there, than if there's no make offer price. Now, there have been times with certain sellers where, there's an item listed that I feel like is too much, and I reach out to them and I try to make an offer through message. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they're firm and their listed price is their listed price. Other times they're like, hey, yeah, that's a good price, I'll take it. Or, can you meet me at this price? Maybe they're listed at 90, I offered 60, we meet at 75. So even if they don't have make an offer, you could still reach out to them. And if sellers are mad that interested buyers are interested in their product, it just tells me that they're not too concerned about selling an item. There's one guy on eBay, Darth something. I kind of feel like, looking at his listed prices, I don't understand how he sells anything, because everything that he has on there are high hundreds or thousands of dollars, and it's like, how are you selling it? Because your prices are ludicrous. And he's extremely rude, so I stopped even contemplating doing business with that guy a long time ago. But yeah, I have make an offer on all my listings. If I have an auction, I will usually do make an offer because, starting bid price, or make an offer because I want to see if they'll at least meet me at my starting point. What kills me is when you list something for $10 starting bid and they come up with an offer of $3. I'm like, dude, that's not my starting bid price. If you had come in at $10, I could have respected you for at least trying to meet me at the bare minimum. But and that's when I said in my eBay videos in the past, if you see a best offer with an auction, try to meet them at their starting bid. Obviously, if I gotta buy it now for $30, it's gonna be a completely different boat as opposed to a starting auction price of $30. Fifth and final question. Well, not really a question, kind of more of a situation. Sob story of parent or grandparents buying an item for their children. That sucks. Perfect example I can give you right off the top of my head. So, basically, what this story is, or what this type of question is, I had the same situation happen to me. My very first eBay account. Well, let me rephrase that. In August 2021, I opened up my MatWat6 MatWat6 account on eBay. For the couple years, that was my primary eBay account. Did all my buying, did all my selling on that account. Build up a massive load. In like less than 2 years, I probably had over 1,000 transactions, or probably over 2,000 transactions between buying and selling. And probably around November of that year, November 21, you meet this guy, and he says, hey, I'm trying to buy this from, I had like what was it? It was a Gerber, or it was some kind of multi-tool. It may have been a Leatherman. And me being in the military, it was a military item that I got on deployment. And being in the military and being a logistician, I know the value of those items because I'm the one ordering them. I'm the one getting in the receipt documents. So yeah, I know the price associated with these items. It was like a $400 Leatherman, alright? And I had it listed on my eBay for like $100. So right off the bat, buyers are getting 75% off the item. But the guy comes at me, gives me this little sob story about, how he wanted to buy this excuse me, buy this multi-tool for his son. And you know what? The sob story got to me. It touched my heart and everything. And you know what? I have all these multi-tools. This extra one wasn't going to do me no justice. I'd rather have the money than the item. So even though I knew I was taking a massive loss, I think I sold it for like $60 or something, maybe 50. The jerk gets the item and claims I sent him the wrong item. Well, let's see. I had 3 multi-tools that I was selling. 2 of them had already sold. And all 3 multi-tools, there was physically no way possible you were going to get any of them mixed up, okay? They were all completely unique, individual multi-tools. And I think that one is the only one that came in a box. And made the claim that I sent him the wrong one. He didn't return. And sent me some kind of random multi-tool. And of course, eBay refunded him the full amount and forced me to keep that balance, to keep that. And I tried to go through them and be like, look, this is what he sent me. This is not what I sent him. So I lost those funds and I lost the product. So whenever anyone comes in with any kind of these sob stories, whatever, you know what? Sometimes I might feel for them, but as a seller, sometimes you just got to hold firm to what you hold a particular item's value, because what did I say at the beginning of the video? A lot of scammers, both from the buying and selling side of eBay, and that is a perfect example. Was this guy a legitimate scammer? I think he was, based on his the way he talked to me in the beginning compared to the way he talked to me afterwards. Your average person, if they get the wrong item, they'll reach out to you, say, hey, I got the item, thank you, but I got the box, but it's the wrong item, or something. That way you can work with them and try to correct the issue. But no, this guy tore into me like a total jackal, and he's just one of those guys, you just want to find where they live and punch this shit. Nah, I'm not going to make any threats, but that was horrendous. Alright, so I think these are actually pretty fun videos. The 5 questions a video for most annoying questions. Obviously, this ain't going to be like every week talking about annoying questions that you get on eBay, but this is a nice little one-off, I guess. And if I get more of these type of annoying questions to talk about, I think that'd be a lot of fun. And really loving these eBay Saturday rants. Alright guys, that is going to close out today's video. Hopefully this was informative and enjoyable, and you got a chuckle or two out of it. So that's it for now, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you in the comments and see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.